Hey guys, Resident Loser Jeremy here. Why did I just do that? Resident Loser Jeremy here. Today I want to talk about money. Nobody likes to talk about it. Maybe you like to talk about it. I don't like to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. So how do you make money as a recording engineer producer? And I'm going to kind of lumping these things together. Okay, and these are very general ideas. I'm not going to talk about here's how much you need to charge for this. Here's how much blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of research that has to happen on your end as far as what you can charge and the services that you can provide. So you need to take a look at that. But here are some principles that I think would kind of help not only just make money, but how to not spend it. Because I think those are the same thing, especially in the industry that we're in. Now, the first one I'll say, and this is going to turn a lot of people off, gear doesn't matter. And that comes with a caveat. Gear will not matter to your client. There are those select few clients who will judge where they're going based on what the studio has. And oftentimes those are the phone calls you get of the people. They're just looking for the studio that uses Nuendo, or they're looking for the studio that uses FL Studio, or they're looking for the studio that uses Pro Tools because it sounds better. It doesn't sound better. And that's coming from a Pro Tools user, okay? Pro Tools for life. Now, obviously gear does matter, but it's important to realize that it does not matter to your client. You need the gear that you can do your job well with. I'm a big believer in quality converters, tracking and mixing and sometimes mastering. I want what I get in and out of the computer to be as high quality as possible. Does the client give a crap about what I'm using? No, absolutely not. There are those cases where the gear will get you a gig, but it's on you to know how to use that gear, to master it, to provide a good product. Just because I have a rack full of Burl IO does not mean I'm going to get a repeat client. That's on me to do. So gear does not matter, but it kind of does. But it's on you to master it. And I think you could do that with any gear. Do you need a rack of Burls? No. I think if you have an Apollo, I mean, heck, if you have a Sapphire, if you master that thing in and out and you can operate it dependably, you can operate it quickly, you can provide a good product to the client, they don't care. The gear is invisible to them. So I'll say the next thing to go along with gear is invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, no one will. If you don't invest into your space and make the space look as good as possible and invest into things that would make the client comfortable, like having water available, having little snacks around the studio if they're here for a full day session, and just making a general overall comfortable experience for the client, if you don't invest in things like that, nobody's really going to invest in you. If you have a little studio and you're trying to charge the prices that the other guys are charging, you're going to lose every time. The client wants to be comfortable. All that to say, you don't have to spend a fortune in this stuff. Just put effort in, and people see effort, but it gets overlooked a lot. Just be a good person. And this has a lot to do with repeat clients as well. I think you could be a total butthole and get almost any client. If you're truly a good person and that client had a great time recording with you, that's how you get repeat clients. And all this is based on the fact that you're doing good work and you're putting out your best possible product you can put out for that person or that band or that client, whatever. You're doing your best possible job anyway. Like that's kind of the bare minimum here. That's a given. There's no way to really be successful at this and also half-ass it. Like it's not gonna work. It's kind of hard to describe it. There's really no way to fake this part of it. You have to genuinely be interested in your client. I'm about as introverted as someone can get. Kind of why I chose this field. But conversely, there's also when you do interact with people, you have to be vastly intimate with those people. You get to know them very, very well when they're in a place vulnerable enough to do something like the act of recording and making art. So you get to know these people really, really well, and some of them become genuine friends. And I think that's a great place to start. Even as an introverted person, you have to be willing to invest in people because that's what business you're in. Yes, you are making music, but you're working with people. And it is easy sometimes to get discouraged when you can go online and see people posting mixes or projects that you're like, how did they do that? There's always people who are better than you, and there's people who are better than me. But I think the difference comes when those people continue to do things and record themselves and maybe record one or two clients and they never get traction. I think it could be because of this. They're good at making things sound good, but they're not good at realizing an artist's vision. And those are two vastly different things. Hopefully they're related. Hopefully if you can realize an artist's vision, you're also making it sound good, because that was part of their vision all along. If all you're good at is being a wizard at a computer and you have zero people skills, you're not going to go very far, because at the heart of this, people make music. Humans make music. So if you can't interact with humans at the base level, have an interest in your client, respect your client and their vision for the project, you're not going to be successful. And then this all ties into the next point. The industry is super small. So when somebody has a good experience, they're going to talk about it. When somebody has a bad experience, they're going to talk about it. So you need to realize how small this thing is. I really don't like to get involved in is when people want to talk about bad experiences they've had at other studios, especially when they're coming in for a tour and talking to me about a project. That always sends up a red flag. Is one, if they're talking about this project that they did, oh, it was awful, we didn't pay him anything, here's what we got, can you make it sound this good? Well, like, hang on a second. So you didn't pay that person for what they did, but you want something basically exactly like what that person did for you. Sounds like you want to go back to that person and record, but you're just looking for a break. So realize it's small on two sides. If you're a good person to your competition, hopefully they're going to be good to you back. One of the strange things about this, I don't think competition as far as recording studios, like if there's another studio to pop up in town, I think that's awesome. That's just something really good for the scene around here. And that's only good for everyone involved. If I'm the only game in my location, in my state, wherever that is, that's not a great thing, because there's not a whole lot of variety in music. And that makes for a really boring scene. And then you yourself would stagnate. You know, as an engineer, you wouldn't get these other good ideas. There's definitely strides that come from healthy competition and things you can learn from yourself, from your peers, from your competition. Ultimately, none of us have been hurting for business. You know, embrace that the industry is small. Embrace that there's always going to be work for people around who do good work. This is the biggest point and the hardest thing to drive home. I think you'll kind of find that these are related to the last two as well. Repeat clients are your lifeblood. Repeat clients are your lifeblood. Repeat clients, they already know how you work. If they're willing to come back to you, that says something about how you operate. That says something about the quality of experience you're giving to those artists. And it says something about the quality of product you help put out for that artist. So if you're getting repeat clients, you're in a good spot. That does not mean you need to provide that client with the exact same product every time, because as artists grow, you will also grow, and that's what you want. You don't want to be recreating their first EP every time they come to record with you. It was a big deal that my last 2 years, I've had more repeat clients than new clients. And that was a big deal. I was very thankful to those people who will continually come back and work with me. I mean, if you do good work for a small amount of people and those people continually come back to work with you, you don't need to dominate the industry. You're doing what you love doing because they keep coming back to work with you. You don't have to be concerned with taking over the world or taking over your competition or smashing everybody else's reputation just to get ahead, because you have these people coming back to work with you. You know, and people record for a lot of different reasons. Some people record to get famous. Some people just do it for fun. Honestly, I think those are the ones that are more fun. You know, if you're just trying to go for gold record after gold record, it's easy to get defeated. But if you're making cool, fun music for people that have no agenda other than making cool, fun music, that's a great place to make a living. And that comes from just being a good person and treating the people you work with respect and dignity and doing the best, hardest work you can for those people. So probably not as juicy as you wanted it to be as far as how to make money doing this. I told you I wasn't going to get into super specifics, but this is like real high level philosophical crap. Let me know in the comments what you think, and you have another take on it. I'd love to hear it. Post it in the comments below. Hit like if you liked it, hit dislike it, just make sure to double tap it. Hit subscribe if you like what we're doing. We got a lot of cool videos coming up. I'd love for you to see them. Hit the bell if you want to be notified. Hey, this is Jeremy. I'm your resident loser. I'll see you next time.